Hi there. Welcome to the Gardens and Graveyard channel. My name is Charisma, and today we're hanging out in the moon garden, and it's time to talk about planning our moonly tasks and our moon garden gardening tasks, right? So I've been doing this series for the last few months where every 2 weeks I come on here on a Monday and I talk about, well, I'm on here every Monday talking about the moon garden, but every other Monday we talk about the tasks that are involved in moon gardening. So not just here in my moon garden where it shines underneath the moonlight, but also following the moon phases to garden by the moon phases. Some science has indicated and proven that gardening by the moon phases is very beneficial as a gardener and in the garden. So I'm following it just to see how or if it makes a difference in my garden life. And so far, I really am super happy with how the garden is looking this year. Whether it's just a really fantastic year or if it's because I'm planting and not planting and taking care of my plants according to the moon phases, I don't know. Time will tell. But we're going to keep going with this trend and see how it goes. This is as much for my benefit as it is for yours that we go through. I was doing full months. It's really hard for me to wrap my head around a full month of everything that I need to do rather than kind of week by week, especially when you're considering weather and, schedule changes and everything like that. So doing it every 2 weeks is a lot better for me. And I hope it's better for you as well. So I have my trusty day planner. This is the Dragon Book Planner. I will link it below. It's my absolute favorite calendar planner that I use. It's like my own personal Bible, I swear. If I didn't have it, I wouldn't have my head. So we're going to talk about moon phases. And today is the super full moon in Capricorn. And it is, Capricorn is a very earthy sign that is very grounded, and but some of the shadow sides of Capricorn is a lot of worry. And so the body, the physical aspects of Capricorn are like the intestines, which makes sense. If you're a really big worrier, you probably have a lot of stomach aches. And so the gut flora and the intestinal mechanisms of the body are ruled by Capricorn. And I find it really interesting that going these next 2 weeks, as I was planning it out, there's a lot more barren time where when you have a barren time in the garden, yes, it's a good time to maybe kill pests or, do some structure type planning and tasks, but it is also a reminder to just rest and allow your roots to grow and stretch out. And so to me, the intestines is a really good representation of roots in our body, like the entanglement. And, you can get root bound. You can be all like clenched up and not feel very loose and flowy. So if you give yourself an opportunity to just kind of rest and allow that gut bacteria to flourish and help you flow a little better, it's good for our systems, it's good for our plant roots, and it's good for our planet. Because in our minds and our bodies and our plants are doing well, then the planet is doing well. Because we're more, conscientious of what's happening around us when we're not all in our head because we're in pain or distress. All right, I digress. Let's talk about the moon phases for the next 2 weeks. Again, Today is July 3rd. We are under a super full moon, and we will talk about the next 2 weeks that will take us into the new moon. So let's begin. All right, so today is a great time to plant your root crops. Like I said, we're going to do a lot of rooting and grounding and that kind of thing in this time frame. So root crops today, and then Tuesday, Wednesday over the 4th of July, no planting. You can kill pests and do structure stuff, but no planting, which is perfect because aren't we all getting ready to celebrate the 4th of July here in America? We are, gathering together with friends and family and having barbecues, and it's a great time to just enjoy the garden and not have to be out there working in it. Then come Thursday and Friday, so July 6th and 7th, we'll be in the waning moon, and we can focus on roots and vines and transplants. Again, root crops, carrots, potatoes, those types of things. Maybe even if it's cool enough where you are, you can plant trees, and those roots will really have an opportunity to grow. Vine crops, fantastic time of year to plant vine crops. They will just go gangbusters when you plant this time of year, because doing it during a time when the root crops are a good time. The vines will have an opportunity to send down the roots and shoot up their vines. It's just a beautiful time to plant your vine crops. So then going into the weekend, we are not doing any planting. It's a good time to do some harvesting. This time of year, I'm harvesting a lot of herbs. Going into July is definitely time to harvest some herbs, but no planting. So take the weekend off, just relax. July 10th, 11th, and 12th, so next Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday is a great time for transplanting and more root crops. Thursday and Friday, we won't be doing any planting. Next weekend we'll be in the waning crescent moon, and it'll be a great time to seed your beds and start more flower seeds and plant flowers. If you haven't transplanted your tomato plants, get those transplanted. I realize that might seem really late to some regions and some zones, but for us, our tomato plants are just starting to actually get going in the garden because it's still very cool here in the mornings. We don't start really feeling the heat until mid-July, so we can still get our tomatoes and eggplants and peppers and that type of thing out into the garden at this time of year. All right, so that takes us to the full moon. July 17th is the full moon. And we'll just stop there. On the full moon, you can plant corn and beans and peppers and eggplant, like I was saying, all your nightshades and your corn. Above ground crops, obviously, of any kind, whether that's perennials or flowers or that kind of thing too. Enjoy those as well. So really fun couple of weeks where we're just going to be kind of concentrating on root crops. I will say, because I mentioned earlier that the moon's in Capricorn and we're going to do a lot of resting. Following July 17th, we'll just go past it a little bit, only because July 18th through July 22nd, so that pretty much that entire week is absolutely barren, no planting whatsoever. It is time to rest and enjoy your garden. So take the week of the 18th off from the garden and just really enjoy your life. All right, so as a quick recap, today's July 3rd. We're going to do our root crops. And then we're going to take Tuesday and Wednesday off and enjoy time on the 4th of July with our families. Then on Thursday and Friday, we could get back to planting, especially those vines. And over the weekend, we're not going to plant again. We're just going to enjoy our lives and maybe harvest some herbs or harvest anything left in the vegetable garden. Let's see, probably some peas, maybe some beans you can harvest this coming weekend. For me, I won't be planting anything today. I actually need to deadhead all of my violas. So that's what I'm going to do today. And then after that, this Thursday and Friday, I might have a vine to plant. If I do, I'll share that with you in a future video. But then I'm going to be gone for the weekend, which is the perfect time because it's a barren weekend. So I'm going to be gone and hanging out with my friends and walking around beautiful gardens and enjoying other gardens, which I will be bringing to you in future videos. So look out for those. Remember, on Sundays, I share garden tours with you all. And then the following week, we've got some transplants and root crops to do. I don't have a lot of planting to do this July, so I think we're going to be concentrating on restoring the creek in July, which means a lot of pulling blackberry. So we'll see how that goes, but I will bring you along on that journey if that's what we get around to doing. Anyways, for this week, I hope you have a wonderful 4th of July, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.